Hey team, it's Tuesday, August 13th. I'm Amy Corr. I'm here with Kevin Van Eck, and we are back with another episode of Coffee. We've got a great topic today. We're going to talk about confidence. Let's face it, confidence sells. People want to work with people who are confident. So we are going to talk today about if you are not so confident or getting a little nervous, because we know there's a lot of changes that are coming up this week for many of us with the NAR settlement. So we want to talk about and say, let's all get confident right now because it sells. So grab your coffee and let's jump into the next episode of Coffee with Amy and Kevin.
Good morning, Amy.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, let's talk about confidence. It's so important. As you mentioned, people want to work with someone who's confident. They're going to put their trust and their own confidence into somebody they believe can do it.
Yep.
So number one, let's talk about setting goals. Yep. So we talk about business planning and we talk about all these things. Setting goals, one of the best ways to build confidence is to actually set goals and you have something to work for. You actually feel like you have a purpose, like you are in motion, moving towards something. And so setting goals, but specifically specific goals and also short-term goals. You know, a lot of times we set these big business plans, which are important, where in the next 12 months, I'm going to do this, but also let's set these smaller goals, whether it's monthly or quarterly. And an example of this would be making an effort and setting a goal to add 30 people to your database over the next quarter.
Cool.
Or 15 people each month, starting with this coming month.
Yeah.
And what that does is when you have a goal, you have something to work towards. You're more confident in doing the things that will get you there. So let's set those small goals.
I love it. It's like atomic habits, right? They can all build off of each other. These tiny little things that you do, right? Setting these goals and doing them consistently can build into great things. Another thing that we should be thinking about is ongoing and continuing our education, right? Yes. Because things are constantly changing. New things are developing in real estate. In fact, I know over the last probably 3 or 4 months, the amount of agents that had not had their ABR accreditation spent the time getting educated and getting that certification. So they felt a lot more comfortable and educated when it was time to sit down and really talk with buyers about what they did and how they represent them and their responsibilities as an agent. So, you know, whether it is deciding that you're going to take some time to get on Inman every morning just to make sure that you're informed and you're educated on real-time news that's happening, you know, as it relates to the industry, or it's finding a book, you know, whether it's Never Split the Difference with Chris Voss, which is talking about negotiations, whatever those may be, those are going to help build your confidence if you continue to educate yourself and make sure, look, we always have to be growing and learning, right? That makes us also interesting. The more we learn new things, we grow into new and different people. That keeps it interesting. So
that's right. You have different topics to talk about, things to discuss. You become a better conversationalist. And you actually make fun of me sometimes. I have something called Documentary Sunday.
Yes, he does.
Which every Sunday morning I watch a documentary. But it's interesting when you talk about, I just thought of it when you mentioned conversation. It is something that I used throughout the week to ask people questions and converse and connect with people. And I also feel much more educated
on Sundays. So do not call him between 9 and noon. He will be watching his documentary.
That's right. The third then, and this is a hot topic, it has been because of what we're going through now, but really practice and develop first and then practice your value proposition. Understand what makes you different, why someone should hire you, whether they're a buyer or they're a seller. And then the key word after you develop it, practice it. And one of the things that you and I both talk about is it has to be clear, concise, and repeatable. And all of these requirements, your elevator pitch should be short. So hone in on it. Spend some time on your value proposition and truly what makes you different. And a good example of this that comes from the Getting What You're Worth classes that we teach is if you have, let's say, interior design in your background. That would be a part of your value proposition and how you actually market and sell properties more quickly because you're able to stage them to attract the most likely buyers.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. The other thing that I think is so important, because you're building your value prop and you're trying to build your confidence, sometimes it helps to have others in your corner to help you with that, right? Yes. So it's find that coach, that mentor, or even that accountability partner, right? But finding that person that is going to help you to get to that next level and stick to the things that you're outlining, right? Mm-hmm. For example, outlining the goals that you've written down and making sure that you're actually doing those, right? Maybe setting the goal to get more educated. And again, having a coach or mentor to help you work with that. But also, if you are working with somebody who's a coach or mentor, they've been there, done that, right? So if you are kind of newer in the business or you're feeling like, hey, it'd be really great to learn from somebody else because people have been through it. And to build confidence, you don't always have to go the long way around. If there is somebody that you see in your office that, you even say, whoa, they are incredibly confident, they're doing extraordinarily well, asking them to go have coffee and just learn from them, pick their brain and understand, because they didn't start out that way. Just like all of us, we all started, at the very beginning in real estate at zero. And so, all of us have to figure out how to get that confidence. So, a coach, a mentor, or somebody that can kind of hold us accountable and help us get past our own fears and our own self, because sometimes we get into our own way, right?
That's right. And at any level, like you said, it's the reason why there are CEO coaches.
Yeah. For
Fortune 100 companies, there are people that coach the CEOs at Fortune 100 companies. Mm-hmm. There's a reason those CEOs engage with a coach.
Yep.
It's because other people have been through it. They've seen it. That's why sharing success stories is so important and relevant to today. If you can find a coach or a mentor or that cohort of people that you work with that have been through the difficult conversations, you feel more confident because somebody else has done it, like you said.
Yeah. And every good athlete, CEO, you look at Michael Jordan, right? They always had somebody that could look objectively at where they were at to help them get further. Yes. And I think that's what's so critical.
Right. Mm-hmm. So then let's talk about we're almost done with our laundry list, but we've got two more. Celebrate your achievements.
Oh, yes.
This is something we sometimes don't spend enough time doing, and not that we should throw parties for ourselves every day.
Why not?
Well, you could. But I feel like when you are able to celebrate your achievements, you build confidence. And there's science behind this too. When you actually recognize what you've accomplished, you realize subconsciously that you can take on more, that you can replicate it, that you can continue to improve and create further success. So your confidence builds. So when you do something great and you've put a client in the perfect spot for them, you've been able to create success. Maybe it wasn't so easy getting there, but take some time to celebrate that achievement.
I love that, because we always make the to-do list of all the things we still have to do.
Yes.
How about the to-done list? Something that we've already accomplished, right? To your point,
exactly right.
And celebrating that.
And we don't do that. I know the two of us need to really focus on this sometimes too.
Yeah.
I always say I'm going to go out and get a great steak and some oysters and whatever else, maybe a seafood tower. Still haven't done it. I've been talking about it for 3 weeks.
We're going to get them to do that real soon. And that kind of goes to our last thing, which is to have a positive mindset, right? We all go through ups and downs. Our confidence for many of us is always challenged. But at the end of the day, it all starts between, as they say, between the two ears, right? Yeah. Kind of what we believe in our mind is what we can accomplish. And if we have an idea of abundance versus scarcity, right? That there is opportunity instead of failure, making sure that the power in positivity, it's not only for us internally, but that exudes externally, right? Because I feel like what you carry is what you send out to the people that you are in conversation with and who you work with and who you engage with. And honestly, start with a smile. Get up in the morning. I think we've talked about this before. The first thing that you should do is, get out of bed, smile, tell yourself how amazing you are. And it sounds hokey, but it's already getting those endorphins going and getting your body flowing towards the idea of it's going to be a great day and I'm going to do some great things. And that helps with your mindset, which helps with you wanting to do all of these other things. Find a mentor, be accountable, learn new things, right? Write down goals, succeed those goals. So I think it all starts with that, the power of that mindset.
It frames the rest of the day.
It sure does.
Very powerful. Thank you so much for joining us for our list of how you can become more confident. So we know it was a long list. Go back, take some notes, write it down if you haven't already, but choose one or two that you can really focus on, because you're not going to be able to accomplish all of these, but pick one or two where there's an opportunity and you'll be able to see your own confidence developing further than it is today.
I love it. I love it. We'll make it a great week. We hope you enjoyed some of this information. And remember, until we see you next time, you've got this.